Previously on Balls.
Bollocks, we're back. Tim Sukazi, I'm getting hold of you now. I know Tim just sent me a text message saying he's got to be on the road in a minute. So we're going to get Tim Sukazi up now. He is Tlou Segolela's agent. And Tlou Segolela is the talking point of the moment before the Carling Black Label Cup final on Saturday. This momentous Soweto derby between Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. Tim Sukazi, is that you?
That's me, Neil Collins. How are you, man?
Hello, Tim. Yeah, mate. Sorry, I'm a touch late with that. We're getting to you. We've just been discussing Bongani Khumalo and his shenanigans with Ipswich and Spurs in England. Tim, Tlou Segolela is your man. Tlou Segolela is the talking point, the great talking point before the Carling Black Label Cup final, where the people have voted him into the team. But will he be able to play, Tim? You're his agent. Can you tell us, will Tlou Segolela, Socks, the Cow Train, will he be able to play on Saturday for Orlando Pirates against Chiefs?
Neil, we live on hope right now. You know, we really do hope that he will play on Saturday. Simply because there was a meeting yesterday. We seem to have made some good progress.
Good.
And we have set ourselves some time frames that we should pin pen to paper by close of play tomorrow, and if we are able to do so, definitely he will become then eligible to play on Saturday.
Brilliant, mate. That's great news, because we've been talking about this. It's got to be a good... How long is it? Well, I mean, Friday, I was hoping that Tlou might even be either on the bench or playing on Friday against Leopards. Roger said to me that he's training well and he's happy to have him in his squad, and then suddenly he disappeared. And now you're saying to me there's a real chance that Tlou Segolela will take up his rightful, voted for by the fan role against Kaizer Chiefs. There's a chance. We live in hope, yeah?
Yeah, Neil. You know, it is a great chance indeed. And Friday was, last Saturday rather, it was just unfortunate that he didn't play or wasn't able to play simply because he hadn't signed with Orlando Pirates. So, yeah, the timing was not perfect for everyone, particularly, I guess, Orlando Pirates as a club and, of course, their supporters, all over the country. And more especially when you look at the outcome of the results and when you reflect now with hindsight on the match itself, you realize that just maybe, that they had Tlou, maybe they could have wrapped up the 3 points on the day.
Would it be nice to have Tlou? I've just been sitting here with Glenn Binkin, and we've been going through the stats on Tlou. Last season, started 7, came on 16 times, scored 5 goals. One of those kind of goals, one of those impact sub-goals, even if he hadn't started, might have been just what Orlando Pirates could have done with. They'd now be top of Group A, wouldn't they, if they'd beaten Leopards on Friday, which they should have done. And then Al Ali and Zamalek drawing yesterday, 1-1, leaving all 4 sides tied on 1 point. Did Tlou Segolela's absence make a difference to that game? We'll never know. But so you're telling me there's a great hope that on Saturday we could see Tlou Segolela line up for Orlando Pirates against Kaizer Chiefs. And Tim, what is he training hard at the moment? Is he ready to take up his place if you sort this thing out before Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, he's in tip-top condition. I'm sure, if you'd have a chance, just check with his coach as well, Roger Dissar. I think he might just give you a hint along those lines. He's in a very, very good space and condition. So, that's why, in fact, last Saturday, Roger Dissar had him in the starting 11, pending the outcome of everything, or pending him signing the contract. So when it didn't happen, it hurt them badly. So he continued this week. Easily he could have stayed away, obviously. There's no legal obligation for Tlou to be training with any club now unless he has signed for such club. But because we realize the importance of the alignment, rather, of the supporters towards Tlou and vice versa, and of course, the club itself, Orlando Pirates, has been there now for a number of years. So this is a club where he has been groomed up, and this is a club where you would want to see his career continuing and flourishing even for better, So, but then, maybe so 1 or 2 questions in your mind is what could have been the hold-ups, but you slightly hinted on it. One of the things that caused this whole hold-up in the signing of his contract, such as not seeing regular game time, which is one issue. Not easy to regulate of a piece of paper in a contract. But I think when you're sitting with a player, excuse me, whom you think is equally talented or very talented and has got the ability, has got what it takes to be playing for a club of that magnitude, and now you're sitting in a situation where this player he has to sign a new contract with the same club, so you'll be caught between the rock and the hard place. And at best, due to the pressure and what he wants and what the club wants out of him, and the supporters want out of him, they really want him to be the Pirates. Due to that, you'll have to find some legal footwork, craft the best methodology, or come up with the best plan that might just, for the new contract, might just deal with that situation. It's impossible because football there's a formal side, which is a paper, and there's a practical side, of course, which is the training field. You know, so it's difficult to regulate, but I think we are doing our best, and we should win on this.
Tim, there's no question. I mean, like I say, last week when I got hold of Roger on Thursday, he said that Tlou was training well, and as far as he's concerned, he would start on Friday against Leopards. Then we had the contractual dispute. What interests me, and this is groundbreaking stuff in South Africa, is have you managed to get out of Orlando Pirates some kind of guarantee for games played in the season? Because I know I've seen this happen in Europe before. I remember with Gianluca Vialli at one point there was talk of it, and a couple of other players demanding to be first choice if they were fit and having to play and all that kind of thing. There never has, as far as I know, and I'm looking at Glenbinkin here, there's never been a contract in South Africa that guarantees the player will play if fit. Has there been any kind of guarantee of games played in these kind of negotiations between Orlando Pirates and Tlou Segolela?
Look, you're right, Neil. In fact, not in South Africa. In my view, maybe in the world, there shouldn't be any contract that guarantees game time per se. It's impossible because you have to be practical about the whole thing. Players do get off form, and now if you're a club, you're sitting with a document that says you must play this guy. Whilst very well at training, you can see training matches, you can see that the man is off form. Mm-hmm. Then you're forced to play. Then it becomes, I think, an impossible thing to do. So I'm not advocating for that, but I'm finding the best because, at Pirates, we are well aware together with Tlou that maybe, just maybe, the reasons you see he didn't play as much as he should have, it's not actually because due to his lack of ability, maybe it's because of, what I've referred to previously as a political hazard, every club has its own, every house has its own rules and problems. So I'm sure that's the problem part of Orlando Pirates insofar as Tlou is concerned. So that's where we were trying to at least to derive something to make sure that those hazards do not exist for the duration of the new contract.
Political hazards in South African football seem to be more important sometimes than ability and the fact that Tlou, the reason we all grabbed onto the Tlou thing, me in particular, was watching him score those 2 goals for South Africa in Lesotho when they really needed it. Arriving late in the box reminded me a little bit of the David Platt role that he used to have for England, a midfielder stroke kind of deep striker coming in and scoring goals. Tlou Segolela proved he could do that in that game, and then suddenly we don't have him, with a signed contract. We don't have a renewed contract. There's been this constant debate. So what you've been doing, Tim, let's just make this clear for Orlando Pirates, the thousands of people that have been on Twitter saying what's going on. You're not trying to secure him a guaranteed number of games in a season or he must start if he's fit. You are trying to get him into a situation where the political hazards that appeared to keep him from starting last season are now eased at Orlando Pirates. That's what you've been doing, and it's not about money, is what you're saying.
No, it's not about money, but I shouldn't obviously mislead people and say, money is not a consideration. In every commercial deal, Neil, money is the primary consideration. It doesn't matter in which space you are operating. So I think the money aspect of Tlou's deal, we have to deal with properly, and we are over it now. And it was a question of just addressing and eradicating the so-called political hazards, which I think now they'll be out of the way. And unfortunately, again, of course, these are things you aren't necessary because they're not contractually related, or they don't originate from the contract when they occur. It's just a political situation in a particular environment. I think that you have to just address, and you won't necessarily, put clauses to deal with those because they are irrelevant to the deal. It's just politics. Every house has got its own problems.
Yeah.
I think that Pirates is not an exception by any means, so that's why Tlou was caught out.
But Tim, was one of those political hazards Benny McCarthy demanding to play whenever he was fit? Was one of those political hazards the fact that people like Tlou Segolela seem to have disappeared very quickly from the Orlando Pirates setup this season? Are those the political hazards that have been eradicated, or are we talking about actually within the structure of the club? Explain. Are we talking about players or coaches or people that select the team? Can you go a little bit tighter with me on that?
It's more to do with the structure, governance structure of the club that boils down to the playing field. Like I say, every house has got its own rules, way of operating. So, Tlou was affected, I think, adversely at Orlando Pirates. So, look, like I said, I believe we have won on this one as well. I think Tlou, after signing this new deal, he will see more regular game time and he will deliver. Just to illustrate, maybe to remind people, it's easy for people to forget. People in football, people remember you from your last action.
Yes.
In fact, Tlou, there were so many. It happened so many times last season that Tlou had to sit and watch from the grandstand or from his couch at home. What his club was playing. It was meaning that he couldn't even make the 18, the traveling squad, for a match. Yes, so it happened quite a few times. So, but then come towards the end of the season. In fact, the turning point was in the game against Mazembe, the CAF game against Mazembe, where when he was substituted, people, almost, they became rebellious towards his substitution.
Yeah.
And thereafter, he never looked back. I think he nicked in two more goals, and it was the end of the season. Then he went to play for SA. He scored 2. At that time, everyone was talking about him. He was the talk of town. And Orlando Pirates now, were left with no choice but to secure their man. Prior to that, there has never been any engagement or a sign that actually they would want to renew Tlou because he was not making the first 18, Yeah. So, so after the turning point, things changed in his favor. So we don't want, again, to be caught out in the same situation where we sign now and then 7 games down the line, Tlou disappears again, and now we have to sit for more 3 years and deal with the same situation. Yeah, so, but I think we have sort of addressed it. We've managed to address it properly. And, come next season, Tlou should be playing for Pirates, I think, on a more regular basis.
So, this is good news, Tim. I mean, all the people throwing questions, asking about money and why aren't we? You've got a guy like Tlou on your books, well, why not keep him? We sorted it out, Tim. You've gone there and you reckon yesterday good progress was made, and by Saturday, in your words, there's a great chance that Tlou will have signed a contract and will be playing in the Carling Black Label Cup as voted by the Pirates fans. You're telling me a great chance? Yeah?
Correct.
Mate, that's magnificent.
Chance.
Tim,
that's what I would say.
Tim, that's what I wanted. You know what, mate? When we set this interview up, that's all I wanted, was you to be able to tell me that there's a great chance that Tlou will sign and he will be able to play on Saturday. Is that what you can tell the Orlando Pirates fans now?
Yes, absolutely.
Great,
As I put it, 95% chance Tlou will play for Orlando Pirates come Saturday.
Brilliant, mate. Tim, thanks for talking to me, and I know you had to delay a trip today to speak to me. I really appreciate it, and mate, I look forward to that 95% chance of Tlou Segolela playing in the Carling Black Label Cup. Well, I'm Tim Sukazi. We'll speak to you again sometime.
It's my pleasure, Neil.
Thanks,
you so
Timmy.
much.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
This is Balls Visual Radio.